So this video covers just the last four lines up to 297, so lines 294 to 297. We were in the middle of Hector's appearance to Aeneas in Aeneas's dream. And if we look, just to recap really quickly, at the lines that happened right before, we know that Hector is telling Aeneas in the dream, hey, you got to get out of the city because the Greeks have come in and you have given enough to your country, and if anybody was able to save the country, it would have been me. And then he says, in line 293, Troy entrusts to you its sacred things, understood, and its household gods. And then I think we covered this little part right here in 294, and we marked this as a main verb. Hos is referring back to the household gods, the Penates, so seize these. And then kometes is an apposition to hos. Seize these things, these household gods, comma, understood, the comrades of fates. And now, if we go on, his moinia quaere magna per erato statues quae danique ponto. Well, the first thing that jumps out at me is quaere. So we have a main verb. Oh boy, no magic pen. And it looks to be just like kape, it's going to be an imperative, a command. The direct object would be moinia. It's a neuter noun, each and every day, neuter plurals, and an a. And it's modified by the word magna. Something else that jumps out at me is this word quae. It's going to start a clause, but if I just look at quae danique ponto, I see a relative pronoun followed by an adverb, followed by a noun. So where's the verb? Well, if I back up a little bit, I see statues, O means I, S means you here. So that's the verb that's going to be inside the clause, even though technically it's on the other side of the quae. And then per erato, if I use the looky-likey rule, that's going to go over here with ponto. So I can probably bracket off the clause starting at per erato and ending at ponto. So statues will be the main verb inside the clause. Statuo is a third conjugation verb. And so it's really important to pay attention to the E right before the S. If this were present tense, it would be statuis with an I. But there's an E here, and if you remember in conjugations 1 and 2, the future goes bo, bibby, bibby, boo. In conjugations 3 and 4, A, then E forevermore. So this is future tense. So it's some things which you will verb, whatever statues means, and we'll get back to that in just a second. So, seize these things, meaning the household gods, the comrades of fates, and I think you kind of have to add in an and here. This is a good example of asyndeton, where they're not conjunctions but should be. And seek for these things, meaning for the household gods, seek out great walls. Walls which you will establish. Danique means finally. And then per erato ponto. Ponto looks ablative to me. Per erato does too. When you have an ablative noun and an ablative participle, you've got an ablative absolute. So with the sea having been wandered through or traversed. So seek for these great walls, walls which, with the sea having been wandered through, you will establish finally. And then that ends his speech. So then we have these last two lines. Seek eit, we've seen 1,000 times. We know that that means, thus he spoke. And then the second part, et manibus vitas vestamque potentem aeternumque adutis effert penetralibus ignem. What jumps out at me are all of the accusatives. So we have vitas, going to be some kind of direct object. Vestam, the goddess Vesta here. And she seems to be modified by this word next door, this adjective potentem. And then I see aeternum, which is accusative, but it's an adjective, and I have to go all the way to the end. Ignem, accusative noun, so something about an eternal fire. So I found a whole bunch of direct objects. So let's find the verb. Well, with the words that are left, the verb to me looks like it'll be efert. And the subject, if it ends in T, it's going to be a he, she, or it. There's no nominative around, so we can assume that the subject will be the same subject as eit, which of course was Hector. So, thus he spoke, and efert. Efero means to carry forth or carry out. He carries forth or carries out manibus with his hands, and then let's go to our direct objects. What exactly is he carrying out or carrying forth? He is carrying out garlands. And those are like headbands that are used for religious purposes. So carrying out garlands and powerful Vesta, and I think what Virgil means here is a statue of Vesta, and the eternal flame. And then from where is he carrying out all of this stuff? He's carrying out with his hands the garlands and powerful Vesta and the eternal flame from the innermost sanctuaries. And there it is. And notice the chiasmus here, aeternum, is describing ignem way over here, and then sandwiched in between, you've got penetralibus, the adjective, describing adutis, the noun. So why? I don't know. I think maybe it's because the flame is supposed to be eternal or everlasting, kind of all-encompassing, and it stretches from the beginning of the line all the way to the end, and then everything else is sort of sandwiched in between. So it carries out all of that stuff from the innermost sanctuaries. All right, that's it. See you guys tomorrow.